Obviously, you just won yourself a share of a conference championship. What's kind of the feeling right now, and how's it feel to rally and get that share of the title?
Oh man, it's awesome. Before the season started, we had a talk with Coach Pierce. Position yourself to win 5 championships, and we had been great all season, and that's exactly what we went out and set out to do from the beginning of the season. We were able to do that today, and it's just a great feeling. When the crowd started cheering, we were all just hugging each other in the dugout. Everybody's getting goosebumps. I had goosebumps for a solid 10 minutes. Couldn't stop smiling. And then obviously the locker room is pretty crazy right now. We're all enjoying it, but we still got a lot of work to do.
Let's go to that 6th inning. I don't know if you were scoreboard watching the entire time, but how aware of you what happened in that Kansas State TCU game?
Well, I had Occupy Left Field giving me updates, and it was in the 6th inning. Something they said, K-State tied it, so that was sweet. And then it was on in the locker room. So after that, I went in the locker room, and they had it on the TV, and I walked in just in time to see Zubia hit that walk off. So we owe him something, a signed jersey or something. But it was awesome, man. It was a lot of fun.
Chris Tavares, go ahead.
Have you ever been that distracted with another game while you're in the middle of a game before in your career?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, from the start of the day, we were all obviously we were focused on the game, but in the back of our head, what's the score of the K-State TCU game? So throughout the game, we were asking what the score was, and obviously when K-State pulled through, we were all a little sidetracked there for a minute, just all happy and stuff, but we were able to focus back up and enjoy it all.
What does it mean for y'all to get to this point, to win a conference crown after last season? You guys looked like you were in pretty good shape to have a good year, but that gets canceled. And the year before that, you don't even make the Big 12 tournament. To get this far in such a short amount of time, what does that mean to y'all?
Oh, that's surreal. Obviously, coming to the University of Texas, you should make the postseason every year. 2019, we weren't able to do that. We got things back on track last year. Unfortunately, got to cut short. We knew we had a great team last year, and then this year's team is even better. We knew we had this in us from the start of the season and fall inter squads, and it's just nice to see all of our hard work, pay off, and us come through like this.
Thanks. Congrats.
Thank you.
Jeff Howe, you're up.
Hey, Eric, for you personally, just the struggles you've had at the plate this year, how gratifying is it to stick with it and then come through on a big day when you guys are able to clinch a conference championship?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's obviously been a grind all season. I've been trying to make adjustments the whole year. Past couple of weeks, I felt like I'm getting more consistent contact. I just haven't had a lot of results. And luckily today, it all kind of came through, and this is perfect timing going into postseason. Got my swing feeling the way I want it. So hopefully I can continue this, and as a team, we can take off.
Thanks, Eric.
Dustin, go ahead.
Eric, congrats. If you could take us through kind of what the conversations were like, or just the facial expressions as you guys learned while the crowd was going nuts that, oh my gosh, Kansas State pulled it out.
It was just pure joy. I mean, everybody had a smile, ear to ear grin. Nobody could hold it back. Several of us were talking about we had goosebumps, and it's just a surreal feeling. It's just kind of like a kid in a candy store. You just can't get enough of it, This is why you play college baseball for moments like this, and the crowd was amazing, letting us know. And then, especially after the game, it's fun to celebrate it.
As Chris alluded to, you've kind of seen it all at Texas. When did you know that this team was capable of doing something like this? Obviously, you guys have a bunch of goals still ahead of you, but to win the Big 12 title is a heck of an accomplishment.
I'd say in the fall. I think as a team, we look very solid. Up and down our lineup, we're a very deep lineup. There aren't many easy outs. And then obviously our pitching staff, our top 3 starters are very solid. Cuba's good at the start, and I know he'll get it back on track. He's solid. And then, like I said, in the fall, there are great battles between pitchers and hitters, and it's the whole thing. People are grinding out at bats. Pitchers are making great pitches, and that's kind of throughout the fall, we all kind of had a feeling like we could be something special right here.
Got one last one. Danny, go ahead.
Again, sorry. I'm sorry. what, as a longtime teammate of these guys, what did it mean for you to kind of get this one for guys like Zach, Tristan, DJ, guys who may have thought their careers have been ripped from them at the end of last year, but, we're given a chance to come back and try to close it out the right way?
Oh, it was awesome. They all deserve it. They'll work their butts off each and every day. They're there for the young guys if they have questions. And they're just in here. They're the first guys here and the last guys to leave. Before the game, I think I saw Zach with some tears in his eyes for senior day. And, that just hit home a little bit because, he's been a 4-year contributor here. And it's been great. And Tristan's been great all year. And DJ has obviously been very solid all 3 years he's been here. And as well as Palmer, he stepped up this year. And it's great to see them. Great for us to get a win for them. They deserve it.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate the time. Congrats again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, guys, we're going to have Zach Zubia next. You can go ahead and start putting your raised hand functions up, and we'll roll through some questions for him. Good, Zach. Can you hear us?
Let's go.
Great. We'll start with Dustin.
Zach, the day begins for you, kind of celebrating the senior day thing, and it ends with you hoisting the Big 12 trophy and mobbed by your teammates. Just describe those emotions that you felt throughout the day and ending with that moment where you're mobbed by teammates and then holding the trophy afterward.
The emotions started to kick in this morning. I was kind of going through my daily routine and then going, shit, like it's a senior day. Like, but it's kind of weird because, we have regionals and, we have the Big 12 championship still to play. But, it was just kind of like, oh, wow. Like, and even though I have a year of eligibility, I just kind of like started collecting my thoughts about how many years or how much fun I've had over the years here and just like the amount of people I've made or met and the amount of relationships I've made. And it was an overflowing emotion. And then to hoist a Big 12 trophy, holy cow. How about that? These guys deserve it. This team deserves it. This is the best Texas baseball team I've been a part of, from top to bottom. They're just a great bunch of guys. And I cannot tell you how appreciative I am of every single one of these people on this team.
Eric mentioned that he had the tailgate out in left field, keep him updated on the Kansas State score. What was your reaction when the home crowd just suddenly erupted in the 7th inning?
Well, I think that was in the 7th, right? You said, and I was about to hit. I think I was 3rd up that inning, and someone turned around and said, "Hey, what's the TCU score?" And I heard 8-8, bottom of 9, runner on first, 1 out. And that's all I heard. So then I was on deck. Everyone just goes absolutely berserk, and I was like, "Oh my God, they lost." I was like, holy cow. And then you look at it, it's 10-1. Obviously you got to stay focused, but I was like, oh my God, this could happen. And it's just a surreal feeling to have that be us. I mean, to be able to say you're a Big 12 champ. It's a great feeling.
Danny, you're up.
So did you have to take a moment as you walked up to the, to the plate, and how did you kind of compose yourself and, get that at bat done?
I mean, in the last one, I was kind of hoping that Mitch would get it done or that I would be able to get it done. I didn't want to. I'd rather get it done in the 8th than rather go out and play defense in the 9th because I think it would be a really cool way to end the regular season on a run roll. That was just my thoughts. But to be able to go into that at bat, I was just focused on hitting the ball hard somewhere. And if I got a hit, I got a hit. If I hit a sac fly, I hit a sac fly. But I just had to take it like it was a normal at bat, no extra pressure, and just get the job done.
When you think back 14 months, whatever it was, to the last season ending, you decided to come back. I guess this was your fifth year of college baseball, which is not easy. Is this worth it? This moment, did this make this entire last year worth it for you?
I mean, we won, and the first person to come shake my hand is Tristan Stevens, and that guy's been through hell and back with his roles and understanding his roles, and He's done such a great job, and to look at him, to shake his hand in that moment, being able to hold a trophy, it's completely 1,100% worth it. And there's no other way to explain it.
Chris, go ahead.
Zach, you've kind of touched on this, but how difficult is it to get your composure when you're so locked in on another game as well as your game that you're playing, you're in the middle of? How hard is it to kind of balance those two things?
You know, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't know much about that TCU game at all, the whole game. I was really trying my hardest to not worry about it, to just kind of keep it on the side, because, you know, we still had to win. And I think that's the biggest thing about it, is that we still had to win the ball game. And for me, that's my mentality going into it. I was like, we got to win, and whatever happens with them happens. If they lose, they lose. If they win, they win. And as long as we came out with a victory, that's all I was really worried about.
Was it a collective team decision to have the game on in the clubhouse? Because I know David, when we talked to him on Thursday, said that talking big picture was never part of the plan for him, and he wanted you guys just locked in on what you do, like you just said. So how did it come to be where the game is on in the clubhouse and guys are kind of scoreboard watching?
I mean, for the guys who aren't playing, like pitchers that have already thrown, or guys who are not hot that day, I mean, why not have them scoreboard watch? And I mean, they did a really good job though with not like messing with the starters or like talking with anybody who was playing. They made sure that everyone would stay locked in, and, you know, whoever was scoreboard watching did a really good job of just keeping it under the rug.
Joe, go ahead.
Zach, your relationship with Coach Pierce goes back to, you know, when you were at Tulane, and now it's 2 Big 12 titles, and, you know, you mentioned about, you know, all of it being worth it. So going back to, you know, your relationship with him, how much does it mean not just to win this title, but to win it with him after all y'all have, how long y'all have known each other?
I mean, if you think about it, the last 3 times I've been in the Big 12, it was first, last, and first. And for me and for this team to be able to turn it around, that's what it's about. Being able to keep a program culture strong and being committed to every day.
Got one last one. Jeff Howe, go ahead.
Hey, Zach, I know obviously you guys have more baseball to play, but you know, ever since coming back from Arlington and the work you guys had to put in, you guys have been resilient. And again, I know there's more baseball to play, but this weekend, like, is a conference championship kind of the reward for how resilient you guys have been, especially this weekend where you lose the Thursday game and you just have to come back and win on Friday and Saturday and, you know, let the chips fall where they may, kind of thing?
I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that we came out of Arlington thinking that we had to get a lot better. And every day we kind of joke around and say, remember Arlington, like that weekend was not fun at all. And you know, we work with that in the back of our mind every single day, that we got to get to the level of that competition day in and day out. And, you know, I think it's paid off. We're not a finished product yet, and that's the scary part. I think that we can get a lot better still, but I think that going into this Big 12 Conference Championship tournament, we still got a lot of work to do, but we still got a lot of room to grow, and I think that's going to be really, really important for us.
I know this is kind of a big picture question, but, you know, you talked about that work you guys put in for Arlington. I mean, do you think you guys would have gotten to this? I mean, you call this the best Texas team you've been a part of. Do you think you guys get to that point if you don't have that experience and feel like you've got to go back to work?
I mean, I would like to say yes, just because of the makeup of this team and the culture of this team, that every day is a new day to get better. But I don't know. I think it woke a lot of people up, but at the same time, I think it made a lot of people a lot more hungry. So I couldn't tell you yes or no, but I would like to say yes.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it, and congrats.
Thank y'all. Hope y'all had fun today.
Hang tight. We'll have Coach Pierce in a minute. You hear me, Coach?
Yeah, what's up?
Congrats. No, oh, nothing much. You can go ahead and open it up and we'll go to some questions.
First of all, congratulations to our tennis team, women's tennis national champions. That's unbelievable. That's awesome. Great day to be on. It's just a great day, man. We knew we had to win. I hadn't no clue of what was happening in the other game until the crowd roared, and I was in the third base box. And honestly, I was just so proud of our team, and all I could do is just look across the field at them and go, "Let's just finish this thing." And they did. They were outstanding, and Pete was really good as far as results. He didn't have his best stuff, but he just finds a way to make pitches when he needs them and knows how to win. And great job by our offense and tremendous defense. I love this hustle of our team, the character of our team, and just I'm so proud for them.
Thanks, Coach. Danny, start us off.
David, what does it mean for you to see a guy that you've had such a history with, like Zach, be able to, I guess you got to walk it off, but to celebrate this championship, especially considering, he had to come back this year, had last year kind of ripped from him, guys like him, Tristan, DJ, what does it mean for that group to kind of get this accomplishment?
They're just so special to our entire staff, our entire organization. And, for Zach, it's really something that on this journey when we were at Tulane, and we were fortunate enough to come to Austin, he was one of the first guys that called me and said, "Coach, I want to come to Austin. I want to play at Texas. I want to play for you and the staff." And I'm like, "All right, we're going to get everything that we can do to make it possible." And then just to watch his development from his body to his mind to his work to his leadership has just been real impressive.
And then it seemed like West Virginia was obviously pretty wild, but your guys did a good job of taking what came to them, having good at bats. What was your thoughts on how the team kind of handled it's at bats early while West Virginia was having some struggles on the mound?
Well, they did a nice job of coming out and popping us in the first, and we knew we were going to be in a ball game. And Pete settled in and got out of the inning, and then really started pitching. I thought he just was trying to get ahead with a poorly located fastball there in the first. But when you look at our team, the base on ball is also a part of our ability, and you take what you can. And we talked about it last night. They do a nice job of controlling runners. So it wasn't a weekend that we were able to steal a lot of bases, but they don't handle the ball that well. So it was a weekend that we could maybe create a little bit, put some pressure on them, but also be patient at home plate. And a lot of our innings start with that creation in the short game, and it happened again. I think it was the third where we scored 4. We felt like we left some runs out there, and was it the fourth? We only got 3 there with bases loaded, but we just kept tacking on. And nobody on this team really, there's at times frustration, but there's no panic. And so they get over it, and we move on, and they go out and play defense.
Chris, go ahead.
David, when we talked to you after the game on Thursday, you said you didn't want to talk big picture. You were completely locked in on the game on the field. But today, obviously, you had guys scoreboard watching. They had the game on in the clubhouse. They obviously balanced it well. They did what they needed to do. But how do you feel about the fact that they were keeping an eye on what was going on in Manhattan?
It's kind of human nature, I guess. I was doing everything I could to not scoreboard watch and find out what was going on. And I honestly had no clue until the roar of the crowd, and I knew exactly then. But as far as the team, we talked about it and have talked about it throughout the year, that we haven't had to go to the big picture because they are paying attention and it's important to them. So I knew that they knew what was going on, and they were excited, but I could see them running out of the clubhouse from third base, and I'm like, get in the dugout and shut up and let's finish this thing. But in the dugout, I heard nothing.
And overall, this is your second Big 12 title at UT. How does this one compare after everything that y'all have been through? I mean, you go back to 19 when you guys don't even qualify for the Big 12 tournament. And then last year looks like you're back on track and that gets cut short. And then you bounce back this year. How does this compare to all your career accomplishments?
Well, you look at 19 and it might have been the biggest eye opener of any year I've ever had. And you always assess the team. You always, break it down what we could do better, where we could personally be better. And I thought 19 was an eye opener for us that, we have to make some changes if it's, how we do things or just the communication with players because it's different than in the past. But I think what has been so rewarding this year is really getting to know our players a little better and sitting back and watch them work, and then the love and care that they have for each other and the way they pull for each other is something. It's the most special team that I've ever been a part of. When I look back at preseason before we even went to Arlington, I can tell, and I told you guys, I have no idea how many games we're going to win, how many games we're going to lose, but I do know that it's going to be exciting going to the ballpark with this team every day, and that hasn't changed. And we opened up 0-3 in Arlington. It was miserable. We had a meeting then and said we will remember today. We're just going to put our head down and keep working, and they've done an unbelievable job of doing that.
Dustin, you're up.
David, you mentioned the word character earlier. Is that the best word to describe why this team is a Big 12 champion?
I mean, I think it's one of the best words on this team because from top to bottom, we have no issues. We have guys that take care of the classroom. We have guys that go to work every day and don't point fingers and are very accountable. But I think my favorite word for this team is grit. I mean, they just have grit. Nothing fears them. They don't back down from anything, and they just put in the work every single day. And the perseverance, just the things that they've done all year. I mean, you walk in our cages at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they don't have to start hitting till 10:30. And it's like, this is crazy. This is what it's all about right here. When you can be that excited to come to the ballpark and not have to encourage guys to put their work in, they actually motivate us, honestly.
And also, too, I mean, Cole comes out of the bullpen throwing 97 today. Tanner Witt was dominant. I mean, but does this team still have another level you think it can reach as you guys have the postseason ahead of you?
Well, those two guys are still young, even Cole, as far as a pitcher at this level. So I think they can get locked in on their command a little better. I think they can just stay in a tunnel and stay behind the ball better. And the key is confidence. And when they go out there with good confidence, then their body is free and easy. And, Cole threw some just incredible sliders, and then you see 96, 97. Whitty did it Friday night. And, I had to apologize to Nixon that he didn't get to throw the ninth today, and he was okay with it.
Jeff Howe, go ahead.
David, Eric, he mentioned earlier when he was on with us about his struggles this year and making adjustments throughout the year. How nice was it, especially on a day when you clinch a conference championship, for him to be a big part of it and come out of this series going into the Big 12 tournament swinging the bat well?
Awesome. I mean, he's been frustrated. He's had a tough 3 or 4 weeks. And the only hits seems like he's gotten have been bunts. And, guys that bunt, they bunt because of their skill. But if you don't have a mindset of being a hitter, you're not going to be a hitter. And I actually, with 2 outs, with Silas on third base, I gave him the pull drag, and he hit the triple or double that turned into a triple. I'm not sure. And I said, "You missed the sign." He goes, "Coach, I wanted to hit the ball. I wanted to drive him in." I'm like, "I know, but you still missed the sign." But at the end of the day, that's what hitters do. And, Eric's one of those guys that have been in the grind with us every single day. And just to watch him have success pretty awesome. And his teammates have been behind him, I mean, throughout his struggles, and just really proud of that.
And then I don't know if you and Sean still need to talk about it, or if y'all have already decided that first game of the in Oklahoma City. Do you know if you want to bullpen it or just go with Ty and Tristan those first 2 games?
We're pretty close to a decision. I don't know if we're 100% yet. Kind of lay it out, but we don't know yet. We're not ready to announce that yet. We've prepared for both ways.
Last one.
All right.
One last one, Joe Cook.
Oh, Joe, I gotta spend some time with my coaches, Joe.
Oh,
All right, let's go, Joe.
This
What
will
you
be a
got?
quick one. I know it's not official yet, but this basically kind of guarantees y'all will almost be a top 8 seed and have a regional host. How important is it to know that there's going to be more baseball likely played at the Dish with a big crowd on hand?
Man, the crowd the last couple of nights, it's just been refreshing to be able to go out there and hear them roar and root for this team. And you can feel their energy for this team. I think they've done a great job of recognizing how well this team has played throughout the year. But no, it's cool. I mean, I think us having that opportunity, and we've created that opportunity. I'm really pumped up for our team to be able to play at home.